bizarre encounter. Okay.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it was very bizarre. I sent over an offer and he rejected it. And then he like just started going crazy. He was
Going
like,
crazy.
yeah, he was like accusing me of false advertising in regards to my license. And he's with the same brokerage I'm with. So of course I communicated with my broker that, you know what I'm saying, this guy, I don't know what he's got going on, but like I don't want no parts of this. And then my client actually did a little research on him and he's dangerous. He's like, yeah, he's convicted of like aggravated stalking and there's like a whole Facebook
Oh my
like
God.
yeah. So I was like, I wish I knew that before I submitted the offer because I wouldn't have submitted an offer on a property that he was the listing agent on. I don't want no interaction with them type of people. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live a peaceful life. So yeah, it was just so weird because like he didn't like the offer. And Nick, that's fine. I mean, just counter or just say no, but he was
Yeah.
going crazy. I'm like, hey, dude, whatever. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I said, on to the next one.
Man, people out here in these streets. It
Yeah.
reminds me of a deal I closed over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And I'm just giving a shout out to the new investors. They're starting their journey, getting into real estate. I was excited to. I think I was one of the first individuals they actually did business with in our space and industry from Florida. They're partners here in Michigan.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for their success and want to give them a shout out.
of course.
And when I posted it, somebody jumped on there and did the crazy. I mean, they literally went crazy, started calling them all kinds of BIs and female dogs. And I'm like, you don't even know these people. You don't even like what's your malfunction? Man, people, crazy. Anyway,
It's crazy though how somebody can get on social media and conduct themselves like that. Like
yeah.
because everybody else can see that. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
like, don't you care about other people, especially if you're operating in a professional space and you
Yeah.
are um, trying to present yourself as a professional. You would think that, you would kind of be a little bit more um
Emotionally regulated and
well,
intelligent.
even if you're thinking something negative, thinking to yourself like, do I really need to respond this way? Let me think
Yeah.
about what I'm gonna say, even if you are upset or feeling a certain type of way about something, like thinking about what you're gonna say before you actually say it is very helpful because somebody else could be looking at it, you know what I mean? And it could definitely like impact your business.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I mean, as a general rule now, I try not to respond via text or email to anything if it somehow elicits an emotional response. And I can be pretty stoic. I mean, I can be upset, angry, feeling any type of things and still just show up, the way I am. But still, um, yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
not good, and it's like, you never know how, like how you said you posted up something really positive and like super cool, like congratulating people on their success, and then just telling how many other people saw those negative comments and what type of impact it could have on everybody who was
yeah,
part of the post. So yeah, it's rather crazy. So
yeah. It's damage. Damage. Um,
so I did accomplish the mission.
congratulations.
Yeah. No, with our new associate.
I know.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yep. So it worked out good.
Mhm. I'm happy to hear that. I was like, it's time to take the training wheels off a little bit and
Oh
see if
yeah,
you're able to
absolutely.
manage it.
Throw you into the deep end. Take no reserve for
Oh, it
us.
wasn't that. That was real shallow water. I'd lined that one up for you. Congratulations. I'm excited for you both. I want to see that young man do well.
I think he will. I think he will. I think he definitely has a desire to help other people
Yeah.
with what he's doing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
That's the So speaking of partnerships, I will admit, I try not to spend too much time on social media just consuming random content. But two interviews that I saw over the last week or so kind of caught my attention, just resonated with me for whatever reason. The first being, and that's terrible, I can't remember, Eric Thomas, or they refer to him as ET.
Okay.
Um, there was an interview, and I can't even remember who was interviewing him and his partner. I don't know. It may have been Ernie Leisure, or probably was, but they were talking about how his partner, and I can't remember his partner's name either, had to take a back seat. They both stepped out here on faith and started a business where they were involved in public speaking, motivating, inspiring, providing, the soul food people need to improve and level up in their lives. And I thought it was interesting how at some point in their relationship, the gentleman was like, you know what, I'm gonna fall back, I'm gonna play tambourine. And basically ET became the front face of their organization, and now he's known all around the world, for his public speaking prowess. And I thought that was interesting, how they were able to develop that kind of business relationship when oftentimes when you are partnering with someone, you start to get more shine in them. I mean, that causes the dissolution of a lot of business relationships. It is relationships, period, even person, right?
Right.
And then speaking of personally, and once again, I try not to get messy in these social media streets. I don't want to play in that space, but I've been paying close attention to how people are spreading all kinds of rumors and innuendo and having conversations about Steph Curry and his wife, and how it literally looks like the relationship is falling apart publicly. At least on the outside looking in, that's what it appears to be, right?
Okay.
Where a lot of the color commentary that she had on some of these podcasts, a lot of people look at as damaging, problematic, that no matter how upset you are with your partner, you don't go out here in social media and publicly say things that could tarnish or damage the person's relationship, particularly someone that's high profile, right? And I, for one, I refuse to comment on the internal dynamics of relationships. I'm never going to spend time analyzing another man's household and what he has going on behind closed doors.
Right.
But what's been transpiring publicly did catch my attention, right? Because you see that a lot, like I said, in business and personal. So I began thinking, what are the type of dynamics, what are the type of ingredients, what are the type of behaviors that need to be present to develop strong business relationships and partnerships? And then what do you do when things go south? Like, what do you do when things don't go as planned? Right?
Yeah. Like damage control or pivoting.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, some of the individuals, but I mean, in 20 years, I've had a lot of productive, solid relationships that didn't work out. They didn't last beyond 3-5 years. They didn't last beyond 10 years. And I have many that have, thank God, but I've had plenty of them that haven't. And, I just got thinking about my behavior. And quite frankly, I'll give myself a bit of a pat on the back, because maybe with the exception of one or two individuals, I can't think of a situation where I was like, you know what, I'm upset with this person. The relationship went south for whatever reason. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hate. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make it messy. I'm gonna try to damage or diminish this person.
Right.
Instead of building a taller building, I'm gonna try to tear this person's building down. But man, it happens. It happens a lot. I've seen it a lot in just in our ecosystem. I've seen it happen.
I think it's common. I mean, I think that sometimes people's emotions, just like we were talking about before, emotions sometimes dictate people's moves and moods. And instead of being objective, they're very personally affronted, offended by whatever. Maybe some prior triggers or traumas.
Mhm.
And then they respond in a way that's unflattering.
Yeah.
I agree that if something's happening internally, personally or professionally, what happens in the family stays in the family. I actually have a shirt that says that, and I firmly believe that. I think that like you never look good making somebody else look bad, and even if you are having internal difficulties, there's a certain way to address it, handle it, in the public. And outing your partner is definitely not one of them. Even if everything people are saying is true, um, everybody loses credibility. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say when elephants fight? The grass takes the damage, right? The grass gets worn down,
Right. Mhm.
which basically means you're making it difficult not only for yourselves to eat, but everybody else who may be impacted by the collateral damage, right? Um, man, like I'm thinking of some of the reasons why I personally have not, in the majority of my relationships, dealt with that stuff. I mean, when I think about that relationship with ET and his partner, for me, it's obvious that number one, it was about the mission, right? It wasn't about who was going to be the most popular. It wasn't about who was going to be the most known or famous. It was about the mission, right? And over the course of time, I know something I'm very careful about is making sure that I'm working with people who have a shared goal, shared mission, right? They have a mission statement. They will make an impact, and there's residents there. Because I can think, I mean, even going back before, I really in the seminal stage of my entrepreneurial journey, and I was more of a community activist or a student activist. There was many a time where I had to be out front, and it wasn't necessarily because I wanted to be. I was a reluctant leader oftentimes. Um, I was more than willing to kick back and play tambourine. When I felt like the situation called for it, or the people around me felt like the situation called for it, it's like, okay, I'll step back. I'll fall back because the mission is more
Right.
important than individual shine. And I can recall many times being frustrated when people did not adopt the same approach. Let's put it that way, right?
Flexibleness, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a huge piece of it. I mean, even in my business relationships, I mean, long as we're profitable and productive, as long as progress is being made, hey, if you need to stand on stage, if you need to be the lead in this sales situation or in this deal, I mean, I was thinking about it with some of the projects that I'm working on now that I am front facing. I mean, I would love in a couple of my business dealings for other people to step up, right, and be the face. And then I can just kind of fall back and do what I think I'm best at anyway, which is being the idiosyncratic nerd and creating frameworks. There's many a time where I know a couple of the organizations I'm involved with, it would be better served if I wasn't the voice, right?
Like what
eh,
you were saying is being able to like maybe attract a different demographic and hit.
yes.
Okay, yeah, I remember us having a conversation about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, to be able to open up the market more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
makes sense.
mean, what damages relationships in business and once again, even in personal relationships, 9 times out of 10 is ego.
Mhm.
And I think people oversimplify it too when they say, because some of it is insecurity, right? You're in a business relationship, someone starts receiving more shine, the other person responds in a negative way because of insecurity, right? They start feeling some kind of way somebody appears bigger than them. But oftentimes, I think it's an oversimplification to call it just insecurities alone. I think a lot has to do with greed. A lot of that has to do with arrogance. A lot of that has to do with I don't know, man. Just an inability to see things long term. Um, it's fascinating. It
Yeah,
really is. I mean, I really can't think of a single business endeavor I've been involved with where I would not have been eager to see other people get more shine, have more attention. Because with the attention and with the fame and notoriety also comes responsibility.
absolutely.
And, I think a lot of people don't think about that. It's like the higher you climb, it does not get easier. I think that's an oxymoron. Like people really don't understand that. The higher you climb in business and in life, period, um, the more focused the magnifying glass
Higher level of
becomes.
accountability.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
And it's like that's pressure, that's stress. Um, you have less options in terms of um, how you can express yourself because we all know, particularly in U.S. society, we love to build people up so we can cut them down,
More
right?
scrutiny.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it destroys the mission. It destroys the purpose, the reason why we built the thing in the first place.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, I usually don't pay too much attention to what's going on social media. For me, it's just a outlet to let the world know what it is I'm doing in terms of building my business. But I've been looking at a lot of that. Like I remember President Obama years ago, he said being a leader in some communities is like a circular firing squad. Like you can't do anything right because the moment you become the focal point, everybody wants to take a piece out of you, right? Everybody wants to. It's almost like people want to knock you down,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you know, it's the crabs in the barrel type deal,
Yeah. Especially
right?
if you're doing something that's not really common for someone in your position to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it brings a lot of scrutiny and a lot of people pointing fingers and accusing maybe that person of being a fraud or not qualified or capable of taking on that position as well. What do you think
Yes.
about that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm always paying attention to economics and entrepreneurship in general. Like, there's a lot of conflict starting to bubble up in the podcast space now. You look on Instagram, you look on YouTube, man, people are going at it. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, you do know it's making it more difficult. Like, real money doesn't like drama. Real money likes consistency. Real money likes peace. Real money likes quiet. Real money likes things to be predictable. And if you all are going online and hating and having at it and critiquing and beating up your competition to the extent to not only are you weakening your competitor, but you're just weakening the overall how people hold and view the marketplace and the space that you're playing in. At the end of the day, it doesn't serve anyone. It's really short sighted. It's really I could use stronger words, but we. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Absolutely.
I have
Yeah.
some more
I can read
pejorative.
between the lines.
Yeah, I have some more pejorative language that I would share in
Yeah.
terms of what I'm thinking about some of these people right now. And I was like for real, like some of y'all some real shields. It's obviously some of you are on an agenda other than ownership, agency, having the ability to be the curators of your own stories, right? A lot of people want I'm about empowerment and helping out folks. I'm like, your actions speaking so loud, I can't hear what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about, even in the direct selling industry. Um, you know, I purposely kind of demurred to allow other people to be more front facing or give people the space and respect to me front facing for that reason. Like I wanted other people to see around me that that's what winning looks like,
Right.
right? I'm going to defer. I'm going to, you know, give up agency. I may give up. Some people may say, well, yeah, I had literally someone say, Juwan, like, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. And I was like, that's great. I'm really appreciative of that. But for the greater good, I am willing to tap down some of my perspectives, what I believe, what I would normally say, the flavor I would normally bring to make sure that the whole wins, right? They say that you can go faster alone, but you go further with people.
Right.
And I'm thinking about that critically. And let me not also be hypocritical, like, especially in my 20s, man. If you're about that smoke, it was like, let's go. I got some. I got
You
some.
loaded up and ready, huh?
I got some for you. Let's step in this ring right quick. You know what I mean?
Let's handle this in the parking lot.
Yeah, let's do it. But now I'm just like, no, you're not winning.
Right.
I'm telling you, don't get it twisted. I still have a
It's
fighter's
still
mentality.
there. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
there. It's just like underneath the surface, and there's
Yeah.
other ways, other tools in the toolbox to handle it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
still like getting in the ring. I still like bloody and noses. I still like winning. Trust me, I do.
Oh, for sure.
It was funny. I was talking to Kylie this morning, and I started busting out laughing randomly. And it wasn't random for me, but it was for her. And she was like, what are you cracking up about? She's like, you sound the same. And I was like, man, I just saw an adversary catch that L. Just saw him catch
What'd
that
she
L.
say?
Yeah, and I was like, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I knew it was gonna happen. I was just waiting for their ish to catch up with them.
Yeah.
I was waiting because I
Right.
knew it would. And it finally caught their behinds, and I was just looking like, yep,
Well, what's
there
in
it
the cup
is.
always comes to the light. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
karma.
And it took a lot of patience. I just sat back and I waited for a long time. I was like, yep. Keep running your mouth. Keep doing spiteful-ish. Keep
Right.
going out here, muddying up the business. You keep doing it. And
BS.com.
yep, eventually that behavior was going to turn on you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I came in front. Like the fighter in me was like, yeah, buddy. And I'm not going to say a word publicly about it. I'm just going to continue to watch it happen. Yeah.
Just watch it unravel and unfold.
Yep.
With you having your front row seat.
Yep. It's terrible. It's terrible.
But it is funny though. It is funny.
So I'm curious because you've had just as many experiences I've had with partnering with people and individuals. Like, what are some of the ground rules, or how are you exercising discernment with individuals to partner with?
I think that for me, if something is gonna go south or go sour, my automatic response is always tact and diplomacy, even if the other person is being absolutely ridiculous, especially when it comes to like dealing with contractors. I think that being a female in a male dominated industry, I'm very much I believe in keeping written documentation of per conversations and things like that, memorandums of understanding. And even if I have to part ways with somebody, always leaving people's dignity intact, thanking them for their contributions to the network. I never want to end things on a sour note. And anybody who's ever dealt with me, whether they agree with this or not, I will firmly say, and I believe 100% that if a bridge was burnt, they burnt it first. And if, they ended up falling into the lava, it was their own doing, not mine.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times I feel like when you do things with that spirit, you know, being tactful, being diplomatic, thanking people for their contributions, even if you are parting ways, people really appreciate that because it's much easier for like putting it on the other side of the coin, just being absolutely nasty and rude and, you know, ending things on a really sour note. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the more traveled road, I would say, when people's emotions are high, but when you can keep a level head and you know that, because like for me, I feel like the person cutting the check and receiving the check is the person who gets the last laugh at all times. And if you know that that's your position, then it's like, all right, I need to be
Mm.
tactful and I need to be
Mhm.
diplomatic because at the end of the day, um, I'm at the head of the table. And even if this relationship ends, this person could refer you to somebody,
Mhm.
or this person could come back to you and be like,
Mhm.
hey, you know, Adrian, I know I made a mistake, you know, blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, hey, I know that we didn't see eye to eye on this. And it's happened many, many, many times where, you know, a relationship may have ended. We may have been going in different directions. And I've had people who, you know, I removed from my network or didn't want to, you know, partner with or work with anymore who referred me, you know, sent me referrals, clients, came back. So I think that's always super important. Even if it's difficult, even if like you're in your emotions and something happened that was like total fracaso and just like completely ridiculous. Be like, okay, let me step back from this for a minute. Let me not just react right away. Let me think about it. Let me put something together that is going to be professional and that's going to, if someone else looks at it and reads it, it's going to come across the right way. That's a lot of times what I think when I'm communicating with others. Like, let me make sure that if someone else looked at this, it wouldn't be looked upon as being nasty or unprofessional or vindictive. You know,
Mhm.
let me take that approach. Let me take the approach of, you know, wanting it to be professional and wanting it to be um where that person feels like they haven't been attacked or degraded in any way. It's never about that. It's just about, hey, this is my position, this is your position, we're not on the same page, and this is what I'm gonna do. Um,
Mhm.
I think it's really saved a lot of relationships, even if we didn't work together again, to where if I see that person or they see me, there's no hard feelings, at least not on my part. Um,
Mhm.
you know, and I think that's super important because, you know, like there's no reason to have like a bunch of like negative, hostile, you know, damaged past relationships professionally or personally. I don't see the purpose in it. I think it's so much easier to be nice than it is to be nasty. Takes less energy. And I'm all about conserving my energy and saving my energy and using my energy for good and for income generating activities. And that's another thing too, is usually if you're parting directions, it's a non-income generating activity. So I want to spend the least amount of time on that as possible. I don't want to waste a lot of time haggling, going back and forth with somebody when I know, like, okay, obviously we're just not on the same page. It
Mhm.
just is what it is. That's
That's funny.
usually my approach.
So I'm listening to you, so entertaining because I know you probably deal with this a lot. Like people judge a book by its cover
Oh, absolutely.
and
And that makes
assume
me laugh.
and assume you're gonna be a fire starter and burn all the bridges and
Oh, yeah, for sure.
lay waste and just be sitting back smiling, going about your business. It's so entertaining to me.
Mhm, absolutely. I mean, of course, anybody can do that. That's easy to do that.
Mhm.
That's super easy. And it
Mhm.
a lot of times if you come from a background where, you know, maybe people don't exercise tact and diplomacy and that's just like the way of the world, um, you know, it's very easy, but it takes,
Mhm.
you know, it takes like mental discipline to do it that way. for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when there's eyeballs on you, when you're in an environment or in a space where there's a lot of toxic people there,
Hmm.
or people who just don't understand the game they're playing. Um, man, folks will egg on a crash out. They'll egg
Or
it on. They'll pour
want to
fuel
see
on.
you
They'll be like,
fail. Yeah,
yeah,
people who
yeah.
maybe want to see you fail. Like, okay, I don't want to see this person do good. This person doesn't deserve this title or this success or this
Hmm.
contract or these kinds of clients or to even be operating in this space or to even be in this room. This person doesn't deserve that. So it's
And
definitely, yeah,
yeah,
it's a real thing.
and people will like when people are crashing out or behaving in a way that's counterproductive, it's like the inability to step outside themselves and see that the reason why people are pushing you to behave this way or applauding your bad behaviors is because it's not because they really believe in what you're doing. It's not really because you're entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. You're tabloid fodder.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what
Yeah.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah, you're tabloid fodder, you're entertainment. It's funny for them to watch you have your buttons pushed and them seeing you react typical and act typical and be exactly what they think that you are.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah. And then the person doing the crashing out is like, or particularly like, there's one brother online right now that I'm not saying he's wrong for being upset. Uh, his arguments are, in my estimation, from a little bit I could tell, are legit.
Hmm.
But it's like you're also, whether you realize or not, you're being a crash dummy too. Because after you get done hating and spewing your criticisms and clowning people for their shortcomings, when the dust is all said and done, like there comes an end to that. There becomes a point where people are going to get fatigued and tired of you, and
Absolutely.
you're not known as a builder. You're not known as somebody that creates things. You're not known because of your expertise or your talent or your effectiveness to ability to get things done. You're just known as the thing you've been portraying for the last 2 3 months, last 2 3 years, right?
Right.
So when the spectacle is over with, you're gonna be unemployed too. And as entrepreneurs, yes, I mean, technically speaking, you can become unemployed, but yes, you can. When your brand becomes so toxic, when your reputation becomes so problematic, when you are seen as a person that is always looking for an opportunity to muddy the waters and mess things up, once again, people who understand business and are looking for consistency, people who are looking for um, predictability, people who are looking for individuals they can count on that'll stand and deliver. You're not going to be considered one of those individuals.
Oh, absolutely not.
Straight up.
They're gonna come from you. They're gonna
Yeah.
run from you.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is tabloid
Yeah.
fodder person. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, now that I'm really thinking about it, now I'm really doing a deep dive. I remember when I clowned some individuals publicly, and they richly deserved it. They do. Like
Of course.
oh my God, they richly deserved it. And I still held a lot of my fire. I didn't say everything I was thinking, but I made sure that number one, I mean, I remember telling people, it's like, I'm not that guy that throws stones and hide my hands. Like I threw the stones, I took out the sword, I cut off heads and limbs, and I wanted everybody to know that I did it. You know, I was not gonna hide, not gonna hide. Um, but I'm thinking about the fact that number one, because I did exercise a degree of restraint, I didn't go all the way in the way I could have. And the moment I saw that it was damaging the marketplace in particular, that also tempered me. I was like, okay, enough, right?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it changed some things, but it was like, no, there's no real profit. And I remember, like, just like I publicly or at least online went in on these people, I also publicly apologized to them. I publicly
Okay.
told them I was in the wrong, right? You and I may have had disagreements, but you are a predecessor to me. A lot of the work that you did made it possible for me to operate in this space because I know you took some stones, you took some, knives in the back. I know you took some disappointment. I knew you had sacrificed quite a bit to even get to where you're at. And somebody's, you were the tip of the spear for a period of time, right? So I went back and I apologized to him. I was like, look, I was wrong. You deserved more respect than that. You deserved more regard, even if I knew you were wrong. And to this day, I still think you're wrong. You didn't deserve for someone to come at you like that, right?
Right.
And the marketplace is better for it, and people are better for it. And I know there are some people that will never. You can't see what you saw. Can't unsee
Right.
it. But
Yeah,
I
but
will.
it's good leadership though. It's
Yeah.
good leadership because it shows that even though you did um you know give people what they were asking for and tell them about themselves, you were still tactful and diplomatic and came back from a place of contribution like, hey, look, the way I handled it was probably not the best way, but we can all leave with our dignity intact and agree to disagree and no hard feelings. That's
Yeah.
true leadership right there. That's what it's all about is, taking the emotion out of it and saying, hey, look, we agree to disagree. I respect you, you respect me. And even if you don't respect me, that's fine too. But I said what I said. Yeah, I meant what I said. But I'm not gonna, not clear the air and have this other conversation with you where I apologize for, maybe coming across the wrong way and we're just going to move on from there. And that, like I said, that's true leadership because
Yeah.
you're leading by example and showing people what it means to be tactful, diplomatic, and, lead people with their dignity, even if you don't agree with how they were doing things or you feel like, it could have been done better, whatever the case may be. We're all individuals. So, and they probably were grateful too, because if they really sat back and thought about it, maybe they didn't agree with everything that you said in all of your assessments, but there were probably some truths that were revealed after they had some time to sit and reflect and contemplate the conversation. Self-improvement
It reminds me of that.
big. Yeah.
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 It reminds me of that song on the Jay-Z's 444 album, where they talk. He basically said nobody wins from the family feuds.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to remember that track in particular, but it's starting to come back to me now in the midst of this conversation. So interesting times, man.
Absolutely. Very much.
Mhm.
Par
Mhm.
for the course. This is the business that we've chosen to be in. So it, goes with the territory.
I like it. I like it. You've been in a really good mood the last couple of days.
I have been in a really good mood.
I feel like we have to have like an offline conversation because
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And then too, like just like some things coming together and some other things kind of like becoming more clear, you know? Yeah.
okay. All right. What are you most excited about before we wrap up?
I'm most excited about bringing on a new associate who I really feel has the PhD mentality that we've been discussing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and working with those kinds of people and being able to reach a different demographic and the momentum that's going on within our organization. And I think just the consistency that everybody has been showing up and all the social evidence that all of us, the success we're all having, I'm really excited about all of it. And I'm glad to be a part of it because honestly, like, you know, you've been in entrepreneur space for a long time and so have I. And one of the things that I yearned for and was starving for was a sense of community, camaraderie, and synergy from other entrepreneurs because it's
Mhm.
so easy to get in the rut of just dealing with underachievers and people who are basically like going through the motions. There's no excitement in anything that they're doing, and it's hard to stay motivated when you're surrounded by that kind of energy. But when you're surrounded by people who are like, "Hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going here, I'm going there. You know, we got this going on, we got that going on." It's impossible not to have some of that energy rub off on you. And
Yeah,
that's been the biggest takeaway for me is the energy.
yeah. And the other side of it too is you don't want to feel isolated all the time.
You really don't.
I
You
mean, yeah, I mean, because you can't, you know, if you're in a relationship, you can't, some things your partners won't understand because they're not involved in. They're only seeing oftentimes the outcomes,
Mhm.
right? They're seeing the sausage, they're not seeing how the sausage is made.
And they don't
And
care. And they don't care how the sauce is
sometimes,
made.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
don't care. They don't even want to
Sometimes
hear
they
about
don't.
it. Yeah, they just don't. They're tired of
No,
hearing about it. Like, you know, especially
yeah,
like certain stuff, they're just like, okay, next. I no, I don't want to go with you to your crack houses. No, I don't want to hear about, you know, whatever.
yep,
They don't want to hear it. They, you know,
yeah.
that's not sexy to them. It's like, yeah, no, not at all.
Hmm. Yeah. It's great to be in a space where, like you said, people are growing, leveling up. They're
Yeah.
overcoming the same challenges. You can have that conversation. I don't even want to call it venting, but just being able to come together and empathize and
Yeah.
also solve problems.
Yeah,
You know?
collaboration,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think
yeah.
it's awesome, you know, and people who are interested in what you're interested in, people who don't get tired of talking shop, like, you know,
Hmm.
people outside of, you know, our businesses, they don't want to hear about our other businesses or things we have going on. Those conversations are not of interest to them. And
Right.
sometimes, you know, you can get to a point where you're like, oh, I feel like lonely. I don't even have anybody to talk with this stuff about, you know, and the people you're around, they don't want to hear it at
Mm-mm,
all. They're like, no,
mm-mm.
I don't want to hear anything about that. You know, so
Right.
yeah, it is nice for sure.
Mhm.
What are you most excited about?
I mean, what you just said. I mean, for me, so at the last open house I had for a new entrepreneur, at the end of it, one of the other individuals in the space that was there to kind of hear and learn everything that was going on and ask, decide whether they're going to participate. They came to me and they said, well, at this point, what's motivating? And what I shared with the person was what's motivating me is the opportunity to be what I call an upper tier entrepreneur, a top tier entrepreneur. The fact that I can see it now. And what does that mean? Everyone starts out, for the most part, unless you're born on third base, and no one in my circle, at least immediate circle, is born on third base. So um, when you first start out, I mean, you're doing your thing out of passion. You want to monetize your skills and your talent. You want to make a difference, but let's not get it twisted. Especially if the business is how you pay the bills, you're trying to earn money. All right, you're out here looking to be as successful as you possibly can, so you can eat. And then at some point, your business grows where um, you're not able to not only take care of yourself, but take care of family.
Right.
Take care of, be the head of a household or contribute to a household, right?
Mhm.
In a meaningful way. And you get to the point where the business is so successful that you're out of survival mode, right? Where you really have the headspace where you can think to grow. And then you start growing you, personally developing, professionally developing that. So at some point, the next tier is now you can begin to provide financial opportunity to other people where you're not getting up anymore thinking about how you're going to eat. It's like I'm getting up thinking about how I can build the thing that allows other people to eat. right? And that comes with its own set of new talents, responsibilities, skill stacks, experience stacks, knowledge stacks that you have to build up to reach that point. And then for me, the top tier is when you become so effective at that that now you are influencing ecosystems, right? Now you have enough influence. Now you have enough authority. Now you have enough means to make the ground more fertile for other people around you. Those who are directly underneath your cover, those who are adjacent to your cover, those who are in your space. And it feels good that in certain spaces that I'm in now, like what you just said, the fact you were able to onboard that young man, know that he has a chance to make a difference, make an impact. He can utilize the environment, the culture we've created to go out and help others. For me, that is probably the most exciting part of what I'm doing. It's making it more rewarding. Getting up and closing the deal and making a sale, because I eat, sleep, and dream it, and I'm always thinking about how to get better and become more effective. Yeah, that's cool. But I'll be frank, even sometimes like it gets me out of bed, but it doesn't get me out of bed. Like I don't shoot out of bed like a rocket.
Right.
But when I hear that other people are like we've planted these apple trees and other people are planting apple trees and more people are able to pick the fruit from those trees and I can see that the orchard is growing, man, that's legacy.
Yeah.
You know, that's significant. So that's the thing that I'm most excited about. Like it's not happening at the pace that I want to see it happen, but it's happening. And that's what I'm most excited about.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's putting a smile on my face. Like,
Good. Okay.
and
I like it.
yeah, and then yeah. And then just resisting the urge to chew on people that aren't there
Yeah.
yet.
Like you said, you have to let people cook. You have to let people cook.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
The slow simmer sometimes,
Yep,
slow and
yep,
steady wins the race.
yep. Like don't turn up the fire.
Right.
It's gonna be crispy, but it ain't gonna be cooked well inside. So
Right. It's gonna be all pink on the inside. And then throw some of the gristle back like, I don't want this.
yeah, yeah. Well, it looks like you're having a relaxing day on a Monday in Starbucks.
No,
Um,
not relaxing. I got like so many deals that I have to and then I don't know if I told you, but I had to merge my systems. So I was
mhm.
using Remime for a long time. I love, love, love Remime, but I had to merge my systems, Comp with SkySlope, and my office staff has been locked out since last week. So it's like urgent.
Oh,
Yeah. And I had to do a whole bunch of internal stuff, and it was like on a whim. I had to spend like 2, 3 hours trying to integrate the system. So a lot of stuff needs to be updated, and people like to sit on their hands because there's no sense of urgency unless they're in the hot seat. So yeah, I'm making it look easy and cool, but no, there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
yeah. I'm switching from Google Workspace to Microsoft Office. I've always had Microsoft Office, but it was underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm switching over to it, and
Of course. So you already know,
yeah,
anytime you're switching over, it's like, oh, it sounds easy and like it's going to be 5 minutes, but it's not.
no,
Not
no,
hard. Yeah.
I mean, it's forced me to reevaluate my CRMs. It's forced me to reevaluate my campaign managers. I was just finally getting things lined up in terms of content, because that's always been my biggest challenge. And now it's like,
Back to square
whatever.
one.
We just,
Yep. Out of the frying
yep.
pan, right into the fire. I
Yeah.
know. Trust me. I get it.
All right. Well, look, keep crushing it. Have a great day. I'm
Okay.
gonna
You
get
too.
to it myself.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay.